It's the year 1970, and a young Phil Knight is selling running shoes out of the trunk of his car. What started as a humble dream turned into Nike, an empire that redefined sports, fashion, and culture. Remember the electrifying Air Jordan launches, the groundbreaking Just Do It campaign, and the unforgettable moments of triumph on the world's biggest stages? Nike wasn't just a brand, it was a movement. Fast forward to today, and it feels like a different world. The swoosh that once symbolized victory now grapples with its toughest challenges in decades. Tumbling stock prices, strategic missteps, and a loss of consumer trust have left the once unstoppable giant on shaky ground. What happened to the brand that seemed untouchable? And can it reclaim its former glory? Let's dive in. The decline, losses, and setbacks. Let's start with the numbers. Nike's stock price has taken a nosedive over the past couple of years. Once a Wall Street darling, the company has seen a decline of over 55% from its peak. This year, the stock dropped by another 26%, marking one of its worst annual performances since the early 2000s. So what's behind this fall? Inventory overload. Nike's warehouses have been overflowing, with excess inventory piling up. This has led to aggressive discounting, eating into profits. Reports indicate that inventory levels increased by nearly 50% year over year in late 2022, forcing Nike to slash prices just to move products. Global supply chain issues. Post-pandemic disruptions and rising costs have hampered production timelines and increased operational expenses. Factories in Asia face significant shutdowns in 2021 and 2022 due to COVID-19, delaying product launches and creating ripple effects throughout Nike's supply chain. Economic challenges. Rising interest rates and inflation have taken a toll on consumer spending. With budgets tightening, shoppers are increasingly opting for cheaper alternatives, hurting premium brands like Nike. Pandemic aftershocks. The pandemic shifted consumer habits towards athleisure and at-home fitness gear. While this initially benefited Nike, the demand for certain categories has normalized, leaving the brand struggling to adapt to changing trends. Fierce competition. Adidas continues to be a formidable rival, recovering strongly with high-profile Yeezy collaborations until 2023 and marketing campaigns that resonate globally. Puma's resurgence with Gen Z and Under Armour's renewed focus on performance wear has also chipped away at Nike's dominance. New entrants like On Running and Hoka are capturing the attention of niche markets, further crowding the field. China slowdown. Once Nike's fastest-growing market, sales in China fell by double digits in 2022 and 2023, hurt by COVID-19 lockdowns, geopolitical tensions, and a growing preference for local brands. These challenges have left a black hole in Nike's balance sheet. Revenue growth slowed to just 4% in fiscal 2023, while net income declined by 10%. Wall Street analysts downgraded Nike's stock, citing weak consumer sentiment and ongoing operational inefficiencies. The leadership problem. From Mark Parker to John Donahoe. Leadership can make or break a company. And for Nike, the past few years have shown how much impact the directors can have. Let's talk about the role of Mark Parker, Nike's longtime CEO, and his successor, John Donahoe. Parker's tenure was marked by explosive growth, but his later years weren't without controversy. Critics argue that he left Nike unprepared for the drastic shifts in retail and digital commerce. There were also internal scandals, including allegations of a toxic workplace culture that tarnished the brand's reputation. John Donahoe became Nike CEO in 2020. He was a tech-savvy leader from ServiceNow and eBay. Donahoe's appointment signaled Nike's push into digital transformation. But his lack of experience in the apparel industry raised eyebrows. Under his watch, Nike made bold moves, prioritizing direct-to-consumer (DTC) channels and cutting ties with major retailers like Zappos and DSW. While these moves were forward-thinking, they've alienated long-standing partners and confused loyal customers. Donahoe's digital-first approach also led to significant investments in e-commerce, but the returns have been slow to materialize. Critics argue that his vision failed to address core issues like product innovation and market competition. Meanwhile, his leadership style, perceived as overly focused on data-driven strategies, has struggled to inspire the creative culture that once defined Nike. PR missteps and slow responses to social issues have further dented consumer trust, making his tenure one of the most challenging in Nike's history. Elliott Hill, the new CEO. Now enter Elliott Hill, the new CEO tasked with turning the tide. Hill is no stranger to Nike, and he's been with the company for over 30 years, serving in various leadership roles, including as president of consumer and marketplace. Known for his deep understanding of both Nike's brand legacy and its operational intricacies, Hill is viewed as a stabilizing force during turbulent times.
It all started on October 14th, my first day back at Nike, with an all-employee meeting and a declaration to our teammates that we are a sport and a growth company, and that we will put the athletes at the center of everything that we do and every decision that we make.
Hill's career highlights include leading Nike's expansion into emerging markets and overseeing some of its most successful marketing campaigns. Colleagues describe him as a dynamic leader with a knack for blending data-driven insights with creative vision, qualities that could prove critical as Nike tries to regain its footing. Under Hill, the focus is expected to shift back to product innovation and brand storytelling, while maintaining the momentum in digital transformation. His track record of fostering collaboration and driving growth across global markets has inspired cautious optimism among investors and employees alike. The road to redemption. Can Nike bounce back? This isn't the end of the story. Nike is not a brand that stays down for long. Here's how the company is attempting to rewrite its narrative. Product innovation. Nike is doubling down on new technologies, including self-lacing shoes and sustainable materials like their Space Hippie collection. Investments in performance-enhancing gear and premium sneakers are also expected to reinvigorate interest among athletes and enthusiasts alike. Digital dominance. The Nike app, sneakers, and online platforms are becoming focal points, aiming to provide personalized shopping experiences and drive loyalty. With plans to incorporate more AI-driven tools and augmented reality for virtual try-ons, Nike is betting big on redefining the shopping experience. Winning back market share. Partnerships with high-profile athletes and collaborations with brands like Tiffany & Co. are designed to reignite consumer excitement. Nike's also renewing its focus on women's sports and inclusive sizing, a move aimed at capturing underserved markets. Sustainability push. Nike is committing to bold environmental goals, including carbon neutrality and a circular product lifecycle. By leveraging recycled materials and promoting trade-in programs, the brand hopes to appeal to eco-conscious consumers. Global expansion. Elliott Hill is focusing on re-establishing Nike's presence in China and other key markets, with plans for more localized marketing campaigns and collaborations that resonate with regional audiences. These strategies signal a clear shift in priorities. Nike is returning to its roots: innovation, community, and storytelling, all while keeping an eye on the future. But only time will tell if this is enough to restore its former dominance. Nike's story has always been about overcoming adversity. From Phil Knight's humble beginnings selling sneakers from the back of his car to becoming a global powerhouse, the swoosh has been a symbol of resilience and ambition. Yes, the road ahead is steep, but if there's one thing we know about Nike, it's that they thrive under pressure. Just as they've inspired millions to just do it, perhaps their greatest challenge yet will inspire their most remarkable comeback. Because at the heart of every fall, there's a chance to rise again, and Nike always rises.